Hello everybody, welcome back to F1 23 My Team Career Mode, and we are finally back on the My Team grind, and we are finally here for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it is time to go FSU up around Canada. Sorry as well, quick disclaimer, apologies for the lack of uploading over the past, 2 days now? Um, Again, I'm sorry. I've just been very much busy on everything, and again, I mean, trust me, it's not good for me, but I mean, I hope you all understand that, I mean, there's stuff that happens, and again, I don't really have time to make these videos, so obviously just a bit lacking a little bit on my team. But if you not check out the previous video, we finished up Breaking Point 2, which was actually a pretty fun story mode, but I'm glad it's over now we can shift focus into the My Team. And obviously, my team, speaking of my team, if you've not checked out my community post, please go check that out. There's a little bit of a My Team issue that's going on right now, which is a bit frustrating, but I don't know if they did fix it or not. But again, I will figure out probably by the end of the night. So if it is fixed, then that will be basically fantastic. So again, I'll let everybody know when the glitch gets fixed, but it's basically just a loading into My Team glitch. That or my game just straight up crashed. One of the two happened, but we're not going to focus on that now. We're going to shift our focus to the Canadian Grand Prix, and we're going to just do some quick marketing around here, and simple as that. I don't know if we have any upgrades coming onto the car. I think we have one upgrade coming onto the car, but that's really it. It might be something in the chassis, but FP1 is done here in Canada, as you can tell. Pace isn't too good, but to be fair, this was probably like my first laps on the game, so of course I just load right into the wet, which is kind of unfortunate, but car was a bit sliding all over the place. The car is, again, I mean, it's hard to really get a wet setup right now on some of these tracks, but it is not a full wet setup, just a bit of interconditions, but it's just practice after all. It's not really like the main race or anything. But Liam got P16 though, which is pretty good, but only 1.2 seconds off the pace compared to the guys up at the top. So that's not bad, but it could be a lot better, to be honest with you. But overall, that'll get figured out in a couple weeks. Hopefully, that'll get figured out before the race itself. But anyways, getting all our resource points and discounts in for upgrades, which will be very good to get just discounts on, because again, pretty cheap. And hopefully we can get that turbo durability upgrade down to max, to free, so then we don't have to pay money for the turbo durability, which is pretty good. And 33% resource points, so that's not bad for a decent little durability upgrade, which again, I probably should focus a little bit on that, but at the same time, we're just bound to take engine penalties at this point, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to be difficult the whole way through, you know what I mean? So, again, everything will get figured out, hopefully. And we'll just keep pushing on as well as we can. I'm trying to pull away from at least Alpine in the constructor standings, basically to sort of help, secure P7 or above in the constructors. But it is time to do some more upgrading, just a little bit. Thinking about doing the engine upgrade or I think I'm about doing engine, just to get more straight line speed. But we'll figure that out eventually, or drag reduction. I think we might do drag reduction. But yeah, I don't know. But it is time for qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Bonjour. Welcome to Quebec. Or Montreal, or yeah, Montreal. Oh my god. It is time for Canada. Again, not so confident, because again, Canada is not really my best track. So I might struggle just a little bit, but so far our first lap time behind Lando Norris actually puts us P4 ahead of Joe and Piastri with a 111.6. That's not a bad lap. I could have probably done a little bit better, but again, it's just Sector 1, I don't know what it is, but I am just horrible. Like, it is so bad. So we're going to go out again. And, well, as I told y'all before, there's rain coming. And the rain is here, and it actually falls, and we get caught out of it. We should be safe though in the Q2. Almost just collided with Alex Albon there on the exit. We should be safe in the Q2 though. No worries. Obviously, first lap was a pretty decent lap. I honestly thought we might have probably got like P11, P12. Honestly, I didn't even think it was that good of a lap, but I guess it was. So we're safe in the Q2. Now the main question is to see if Liam is, because again, Liam is on the hot seat, and typical. No, he's not. P19 again for the Kiwi. We'll put 4 seconds off. Oscar Piastri though, what a stinker he had. Fernando Alonso as well. That's not so good. Logan Sargent out as well, and Nick DeVries. I don't know if y'all heard about the Nick DeVries news, but yeah, he's out of AlphaTauri now. I don't know if I told y'all, but it is time now for the wet running to begin. I suck at commentating. This is what happens when you take two days off of recording videos. But it's time to see what we can do in the wet. I'm not too confident round in the wet, and you can already tell right away because, well, we're racing Kevin Magnussen or Nico Hulkenberg. I think it's Hulkenberg on the on our thing because Nico decided I tried to let Nico go, and he wouldn't go. Or that was actually no Kevin Magnussen, so we tried to let Magnussen go, and he didn't want to go. So eventually, then we started going, and then he started going, and then we were basically stuck behind him. So we're gonna go again. We got enough fuel, and we did go again, and that actually put us in a P7. Safely through into qualifying basically. So it is time now for qualifying 3. I just want to see who else made it. Wow, Lewis Hamilton's actually out, and Max Verstappen. Both Red Bull drivers are out in Q2, and we somehow made it through with a 121.7. Sergio Perez P15 in quali. Magnussen's out, Tsunoda's out, and Gasly's out. Well, this just changed everything. We're going to have a bit of a mixed up grid. Alex Albon qualified P4. Valtteri Bottas got in the top 10. Zhou Guanyu also. Both Alfa Romeos get through the Q3. It's basically going to be a qualifying between the both Ferraris. See who gets pole, and Lando Norris possibly. I'm not so confident myself because, well, it might be a bit of a challenge into the final qualifying run. But as you can tell right away, we're now moving forward. And it is time for the last lap. The first banker lap was put us P4, but again, it's probably not going to be good enough, and we're already 6/10 off because we slid around in the first sector so much. It was, oh god, I'm embarrassed to show y'all how bad it was, but basically we slid all over the track. I'm just not confident in the car for some reason. I don't know what it is, but the wet running around here I'm really losing my confidence in this car in the wet. So hopefully that can get figured out soon. But it looks like we might line up in the P9 on the grid, and I think we should be P9 because I don't think Stroll has improved unless Stroll is out doing a second lap, which I don't think he is doing. But fortunately, that's going to put us P9 on the grid for Canada, which is not bad. It's not a bad result, but again, it could have been a little bit better. I think we could have possibly gotten maybe in the top. I think we could have probably gotten top 5 max, but it looks like we're just going to be lining up in P9 for the grid, so that's kind of unfortunate. Almost 2 seconds off the pace to Carlos Sainz. George Russell got P2, Leclerc P3, Lando Norris P4, Bottas got P5, Hulkenberg P6, Zhou Guanyu 7th, Albon 8th, Stroll 9th, or Stroll 10th, me 9th. So the pace is good in the dry, it's just not good in the wet. So we have a dry race ahead of us. Let's go on to the race. Let's go FSU up.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Norris, Hulkenberg, Joe, Albon, Joker, Stroll, Gasly, Hamilton, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Perez, Bottas, Magnussen, De Vries, Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Sargent, Ocon. And now it's time to head down to the track. And a warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Joker. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, we're going to try our best to get a top 10. I'm not confident because, again, I'm going to say it again, my skill issue around here is complete garbage. My pace around Canada is complete garbage as well, so it's going to be a bit of a challenging for me. But we'll figure it out. And I am thinking about doing a 2-stop, but I'm really more lenient on the 1-stop. I'm just kind of seeing what everybody else is doing. It looks like everybody is kind of on the 1-stop strategy. Maybe the 2-stop, again, it's just, I don't know. It's just a struggle just with strategy around this track too, because the tire wear is very high around Canada. But I'm really looking on to the 1-stop only because it's just easier. The 2-stop could be possible, but again, I don't know how much I can cook around here when it's my worst track, you know what I mean? So I think we'll play it safe. We'll go for the 1-stop. We'll start in the hard and we'll go to the medium. And I think that will be probably the right decision to make. And hopefully we can get around all these faster guys pretty quickly around Canada. So that is the ultimate goal. But it is time for the race. There's going to be a bit of a challenge, though, for the guys in the back. A little bit, everyone's kind of out of order just a little bit. Hulkenberg's up here in P5. Zhou Guanyu's up here, both Alfa Romeos. Or I might just be one. I think Bottas up there, too, unless he got a penalty. I couldn't remember. But anyways, 5 red lights. We're now underway for the Grand Prix. And we get a decent start ahead of Hulkenberg and Albon, though. Albon on the softs, that's one thing to keep in mind, is I thought he would have gotten a much more better start. But anyways, we're cooking a great start. Now around the outside of Zhou Guanyu. Then we get that move done around the outside. We give Zhou just enough space, and we're going to get ahead in P5 now in this race. What a start we had. Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc now side by side. And Leclerc and Norris, they went side by side, and we were able to sneak through. I said, thank you very much. I'll take that position right off you, Lando. And we now push on into P4 in this race, and now we chase after the Ferraris of Charles Leclerc. And also Lando Norris is behind us. But again, that McLaren is pretty quick now. That is one thing to keep in mind. So I think this battle through the rest of the season might be us and McLaren. But we're challenging the Ferraris here very early on into this race. And again, it's just very much trying to match our own pace and to basically save the tires as much as we can. We don't want to use up the tires too much. Because again, we switched actually a minute before. I didn't really notice, but we switched. We went to the mediums instead, and we ditched the hard because, again, I just think that the tire wear was just so high around here that the mediums would have fallen off, and we probably would have been a sitting duck. But we did pick the 2-stop strategy, though, just in case if we do change our mind. But I'm pretty confident in the 1-stop. And already so far, a huge snap coming off that exit. And that's very much not good for this car because, again, these tires are going to be screaming in pain after seeing that snap. But we'll have to keep pushing on it. Here's another look at that snap. Just got on the throttle too early. And simple as that. But we're lifting and coasting behind Charles Leclerc as well because, again, the fuel rate is pretty high around here. So we filled up the car for about 4 laps. But that fuel will probably go down to like 0.10 because the fuel load is so much here. But again, just during the race, the fuel dies off a lot. I experienced it in last year's game, and you're going to feel it again around Canada. So it's very much key to kind of be a little bit lenient on the fuel as well. But when we get some more fuel upgrades on, we'll definitely probably be underfueling the car just a little bit to save some of our performance. Because again, the lower the fuel rate, the lower the fuel gets, the faster the car goes. Because again, the weight is key in this car. But anyways, still after Charles Leclerc in the dirty air, which is not dirty air is kind of compromising me. Been getting a lot of snaps through the last couple of laps. Lando, though, we're actually keeping a good pace around Lando. We're actually sticking with Leclerc. But Leclerc isn't gaining on Russell or Sainz. Sainz is doing his own pace. He's on those mediums. I believe he's going for a two-stop strategy as well. But again, we're not going to overtake Leclerc though. We're just going to sit back and lift and coast. As again, it's just going to help us save the tires and basically just sit behind him and just have him drag along to pull away from Zhou Guanyu and the guys up in the back like Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez. I mean, everybody who's back there that can challenge up here to the front, like the lights of Fernando Alonso back there. You know, it's just very good to just kind of just keep a gap from him. But Leclerc's tires are falling off pretty a lot, and our tires are almost falling off as well. And Lando's actually gonna have a run on us. We had a huge snap coming off, almost smacked the wall of champions. But Lando down the inside. We're gonna go around the outside of Lando. We give Lando just enough space. And again, down the inside onto the next couple of corners here. But again, we get a decent exit, and we're gonna jump ahead again to Lando Norris. A great defense from me, and also Lando. A great job on Lando trying to gain those positions. But again, as you can see, that Alfa Romeo, or the Haas actually of Hulkenberg, is actually having a massive train of cars behind him, and the likes of like basically everyone, like Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, everybody is caught up in that train, and that's actually helping us pull away. Because again, Zhou Guanyu is actually running his own pace, and he's actually pulling away from Stroll and Hamilton, because actually now on lap 10 now we fast forward just a little bit of time. Stroll and Hamilton finally got ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Obviously that Haas is not so good. It hasn't been a good car in real life, and it's not really been too quick around here, which is kind of weird to see, but very much a bit of a struggle for Haas this weekend. And again, another almost like collision at the wall of champions. Another snap, which again, I mean, the tires are just the tire wear is cracked. It is crazy how much the tires fall off in this game. And again, I mean, this track being a high tire wear circuit, it doesn't help. But again, we're gonna come into the pits now. I think we could have probably stayed out just a little bit. We're gonna undercut Leclerc though, and we're gonna go for a one stop. We're gonna go to the Haas. We're gonna undercut Leclerc. So basically, we would have done the opposite. If Leclerc was gonna pit, we were gonna stay out an extra lap. But Leclerc didn't come into the pits, so we're gonna pit now. And we're going to basically just go to the end on the hard tire and see what we can do. But again, I'm a little bit nervous on the strategy though, just a little bit, because again, I don't know how much the hards will fall off. But the hards actually haven't been that bad when we put them on the car compared to all the other tires. So I don't know where we're going to get out of this train. Hopefully we could jump Bottas here. We're going to go right around Bottas here. Do we get that move done? Yes, we do. On the cold hards, we jump Liam as well. So we get away from that huge train, which is very good, because again, that train probably would have been race over, but now we're going to cook. And we're going to basically, what I mean by cook is we're going to basically provide an amazing strategy and an amazing race right here. As you can tell, this nice slow-mo shot before you saw that little editing blooper right there. But again, we're going to be basically cooking the race-winning strategy. A little bit of a race-winning strategy, but also a good strategy for myself. But we're going to go down the inside out Fernando Alonso. Alonso just barely defends that. We got the inside, and now we chase after Sergio Perez. And again, that ripple's pretty quick around the straight line, but we're dumping all our overtake here. And we're going to make a move on Sergio Perez as much as we can. We're going to go down the inside. Sergio defends that, and we go down the inside. Sergio, nothing he could do there. He's going to back off there. He's on the soft tire, but Sergio backs off, and now we have to jump after Verstappen, because again, fresh tires compared to guys on old tires like Verstappen and Gasly in the mediums, they really just struggle. And we go down the inside on Max. We give Max just enough space, and we're going to jump ahead, and now we go after Pierre Gasly. We have to clear this train, though, because again, if we clear this train, we can basically jump Leclerc in the pit stop, and basically we'll have a decent gap. But again, Carlos Sainz came in as well, and he's comfortably ahead of that train. He's just basically with Stroll and I believe Lewis Hamilton. We go down the inside though on Pierre Gasly. We give Gasly enough space. He gives us space around the hairpin. We get that move done now after Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas. The Haas tires, their tires are pretty crappy around this track, so we'll have to keep a fair fight with Hulkenberg as much as we can. We're going to go down the inside on Nico Hulkenberg here through the wall of champions, and we're going to get that move done. And now we chase after Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri, and he is a guy that I am watching out for as well for a potential replacement for Liam Lawson very early on. But as you can tell now, lap 15, just taking a look at the field. Look, Sainz has cleared that group of, we're going to dummy Tsunoda. We're going to go around the outside of Tsunoda, and we're going to get ahead. And now we basically have to defend from Yuki. Or no, we don't now, because we got the DRS. We were actually behind the detection point. I forgot the detection point is right, like right here. I was thinking it was more like at the hairpin again. I totally forgot. But now we chased after Hamilton and Lance Stroll. And again, Leclerc and Norris, they still haven't came into the box yet. So we kind of used up a little bit of our tires, but again, we had to get ahead of that train. If we were comfortably ahead of that train, we probably could have just ran our own pace. But as you can tell, with Lando not being behind us, he actually lost time to Charles Leclerc. So we might jump Lando. Leclerc, though, we're possibly going to jump Leclerc, though, on this exit. But I don't know how much of a gap we're going to have. But we're now coming up to the back of Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll now. We set a purple sector 1, possibly a purple sector 2 as we come around through the next couple of corners. And they've actually got on the back of Zhou Guanyu. So again, I hope that these guys don't battle. Because again, we're going to lose time now to basically to the guys up in front of us. Which will be basically Norris. And Norris actually came into the pits now. Fast forward to lap 18 now. Zhou actually came in the pit ahead too. And also we got a yellow flag behind it. I don't know who that is. But we're going to dummy Hamilton now. Possibly have an overtaken opportunity down on Lewis Hamilton here. We get a much better exit than Hamilton. Hamilton sliding just a little bit across the track. We give him just enough space, and we're going to go down the inside on Lando Norris. Not Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton. We're going to get the move done. Bit of a snap there, not too much of a snap, and we're going to get ahead. P5 now. We keep pushing on now towards Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, which the Aston Martin should be pretty... I don't know if Stroll will defend this. I think he will, or he might come into the pits this time. His tires are falling off like a rock. I mean, it's crazy how much the tires have fallen off for Lance Stroll. But again, Leclerc hasn't came into the pits now, and I think Leclerc might be boxing this lap. And yes, he does. Leclerc, no, he doesn't. He stays out again for another lap. So again, that's just going to give us more time to basically catch up to him. But again, we're pushing completely, just trying to get around Lance Stroll. But again, Stroll's straight line speed's pretty good. The Aston Martin's putting in a lot of effort in the straight line speed. And I feel like he was dumping a little bit of overtake to defend, but Stroll might defend this, though. Looks like he might defend this. No, he doesn't. He's going to not defend that. We're going to go down the inside. We send one down. We overshot the braking point now. And we go over the grass. Oh, no. What? Grass is not great. The tires are a bit dirty on the dirty side of the track. And we're still side by side going through the chicanes. And we're going to get ahead of Lance Stroll. I don't know if Stroll will come back at us, or he might send a little cheeky dive bomb down here, but he's not going to send one. He's going to back out of it unless he gets more DRS, and he might. But again, I don't think Stroll will really have an opportunity to basically attack on us because, again, our engine is godly. But once again, Leclerc now has finally came into the box with only 15 laps remaining, and George Russell also as well. Lando Norris has caught up a lot. He was catching so much speed. You can just tell on just when your tires are good, and then when the tires are fresh, I mean, you could see how much Lando just gained just by us squabbling with basically Stroll and everybody else like that. But Stroll actually hasn't come into the box yet, but he's actually kind of helping me because he's basically defending from Lando Norris. But again, Russell now is not really our race, so we're going to let Russell go here. Again, we're just going to sit behind Russell now to see what we can achieve now in the rest of this race. That Mercedes, that's not our race. We're just going to let him go. There's no point in fighting Russell as much as I want to. But again, that Mercedes is pretty quick. And that Mercedes has been cooking a lot in my team. Russell absolutely dominated around Spain. I think he led like every lap. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he led like every lap around Spain. So who let Russ cook? I don't know. But again, Lando actually got ahead of Lance Stroll. And that's not so good because now Norris is going to be all over the back of us. But again, Lance Stroll does have to pit. And he's actually got jumped ahead of Charles Leclerc as well. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is he's jumped ahead of Leclerc. But again, we're keeping pace to George Russell. But again, Carlos Sainz pitted for the soft tires, so he is guaranteed a 2-stop. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe a 2-stop could have been possible. But again, I just don't know where we could have jumped out in this queue. We probably would have jumped out like behind Verstappen and possibly like Bottas, everybody else like that, you know what I mean? So if we pit now, though, we can sit P10. But again, I don't know how much we can catch up to P5 with Leclerc and Norris's pace. But again, Russell now sits fast lap, and we're just falling away from Russell. We just can't hang on with him. I just wanted to stay behind him as much as we could to just get basically a dose of the DRS the entire time to have him drag us along, but clearly not. So now we basically switch our mood to defend, but Bottas actually out of the Grand Prix. Looks like an engine issue on the Alfa Romeo driver. But we now switch focus now from attack to now defending to Charles Leclerc, which he is kind of our race, but at the same time, I don't know if I think I might let him go though, because again, I'm not really fighting Ferrari in the championship. I'm more fighting McLaren, Alpine, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin a little bit. You know what I mean? That's who are the cars that's basically the cars that I am competing with. And again, there's no point in competing with Charles Leclerc if he's just going to be quicker than us. But we're going to defend down the inside though anyways, and we're going to give him a little bit of a squeeze there, and that actually kind of helped us just a little bit. So it looks like we will switch to defend because we are sitting P2 now, but we need to kind of be a little bit smarter starting soon because again, I don't know if this could be the right decision to defend, but again, I don't know. Maybe just trying to hold on to a podium would be fantastic for this team again. And I am looking, and we are sitting P2, which is pretty good in this race. But again, I mean, it's just mainly can we get the podium and can we hold off Leclerc, Norris, and Sainz? That's the main question. But again, Leclerc might have another defense, another attack on us. He doesn't. Well, he did just a little bit, and we're going to let him go. Basically, we're going to give him a bit of a squeeze, but we're also going to let Charles Leclerc now go through down the inside because, again, we can't really defend that, but we make a little bit of contact with Leclerc, and we're going to sit behind Leclerc now once again, and we're basically just going to do lifting and coasting. Basically a little bit, just save the tires, but now approaching 10 laps to go. Carlos Sainz is all up the back of us. He's actually on a 2-stop. I believe he's put all 3 compounds of tires on that car. I'm pretty sure he put on all 3 compounds on that car. But again, Sainz now is going to make a run. He's going to go down the inside. And no, he doesn't. He thought about it. He had a DRS. He had the straight line speed, but we just blocked him off there. So Sainz will not jump us. But again, Sainz might have another shot down into the next straight, down into the wall of champions. But now we go down to the hairpin. Very much around this beautiful circuit. But again, we basically now switch mode to defend now. Again, from Charles Leclerc. Not Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. Why am I botching so much? Oh my god. But we'll have to basically defend as much as we can from Sainz. And also we're just a little bit there with Leclerc. It's just hard to judge though because again that Ferrari is so quick. But again, Sainz, you go on, lad. You go do what you have to do. I am perfectly fine with what you have to do. But again, fast forward a little bit on lap 27. Very much you could tell Sainz thought about a move on Leclerc. Leclerc's defending just a little bit, but also Hamilton is coming, and he is catching. I don't know what Bono said to him, but I'm pretty sure he said it's hammer time. And Hamilton is going to basically come after us starting the next couple of laps. So again, Liam Lawson though, alright, he's sitting alright. He's behind Alex Albon in that train, or that might be Logan Sargent. I think that might have been Sargent. But now we switch focus to Lando Norris, and that McLaren is pretty quick around here. We're gonna go defend a little bit from Lando. We're gonna sit behind him because we're gonna get the DRS here. But again, it's just the exits are so compromising because again, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I get on the gas too much and I get a snap, and that's not good around here. But again, we're going to have a shot on Lando Norris now down this main stretch, the main straight away, through the penultimate kind of corners here. But again, now it's just the main eye on is that engine and straight line speed good in this car. But again, that McLaren is putting a lot of straight line speed upgrades. And again, that McLaren is going to defend nicely ahead, but we're going to have another opportunity on Lando Norris as much as we can. Dumping overtake. Also dumping DRS now. We're going to go around the outside Lando Norris. We're going to give him space. Lando gives us just enough space. Make him a little bit wide there once again. And we're going to get ahead. A bit of a tire rubbers on the track as well. The tire rubbers that, the rubber itself that collects onto the tires actually provides so much understeer. And it's not good to run offline. But as you can tell right there, we hit the outside wall. Which, I mean, thankfully we didn't break anything, but I mean, probably in real life we could have probably broke a toe length. Maybe we could have probably broke like the rear suspension, something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe that might come into the future crash model. But again, here's a quick replay of the overtake. Lando gave us just enough space. Fair play to Lando for just defending perfectly with us. And again, these two bulls, the Red Bulls, they're basically just all the way back there. just trying to catch up to Lance Stroll on the soft tires. But Lando Norris now has gotten repast us, and Hamilton, he's now entering this battle in that Mercedes, so that's not great. Hamilton could be all over us for P5 in this race, but again, the battle is for P4 for basically 12 points. That is the goal. We're going to go down the inside of Lando Norris. We're going to go a little bit offline, give Lando a little bit of a squeeze there, and Lando ultimately can't jump us, but now he's side by side with Lewis Hamilton, so then that gives me a little bit of time to pull away from those two guys. And here's a quick little replay of basically Hamilton all over the back of Lando Norris. Again, you can see Lando defending just a little bit, but again, he's going to go around the outside. Hamilton down the inside. They're touching a little bit. They almost made contact, or they could have possibly made contact, but Hamilton makes it fair, and he's going to get the move done. Fair play to Hamilton, and now we have to defend from Hamilton once again, which hopefully we can just keep on getting doses of DRS and everything else like that. But again, we have some car retirement, and safety car has been deployed. Alex Albon's out, and Hamilton is ceding position. Give that back, Lewis. I don't know what happened. It could have been our teammate, though. I think that might have been Lando. Not Lando. No. Oh, my God. Liam, and that was Liam. Looks like he has a little bit of an engine issue, and I don't know what happened here. And oh no! Oh my! Alex Albon has just murdered my teammate. Thanks for the damage, mate. That's gonna cost us some pennies. But surprisingly, that's a safety car, not a red flag. Which I'm kind of shocked about the decision from the FIA or the stewards to not give out a red flag, because again, make everybody pit. But again, I think it would have been a one lap shootout anyway, so that would have probably been like raced over. So it looks like safety car it is then, as we'll continue back. But we're backing away now. There's no point in catching up to that queue. There's no point. We're not going to get up there into the podium. It's not possible. So we basically switch to defense, and we have to defend as much as we can from Lewis Hamilton to go back underway with 2 laps to go. But Russell is ahead of both Ferraris, so that could he get back to back? I don't know, but Hamilton, if he gets past it though, what a recovery from Lewis Hamilton though. Basically from out in Q2 to basically finishing P5, but Lando's just basically just gone. He's nowhere near us now. But Hamilton on those mediums, we're on the hards, and we're falling behind just a little bit. But again, very much a difficult kind of situation to deal with when you got a 7-time champion all over the back of you. So it's a bit challenging. I'm a bit under pressure here from Hamilton just a little bit, but it could have been a lot worse. So very much indeed. But anyways, you could basically just tell right here on lap 34, Hamilton's all over the back of us as we now approach the final lap of this Grand Prix. And again, he thought about a move, but he couldn't get that done. Last lap now of the Grand Prix, as much as we can. It is now the fight for the guys up in the front. Sainz is all over the back of Russell, but we're also under pressure from Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris has re-entered this battle. We can't dump much more overtake because, again, our overtake is a bit compromised. Hamilton around the outside. He's going to have the DRS, and we run out just a little bit wide, and it's now side-by-side, and it's going to be a side-by-side through the main straight, and Hamilton's going to have DRS, so we're basically going to have to defend from Lewis Hamilton here. Hamilton all over the... And actually, I forgot, no, DRS is not the play. I thought it was a VSC for a minute. Russell is going to win the Grand Prix. Do we get P4 in this race for our 142S Racing? Do we get ahead? Hamilton in the slipstream. Does he get the move done? No, he doesn't. P4. Oh, I'm out of breath.
Take care of the car on the way in.
They take the checkered flag then here in Canada in what has been another fabulous Grand Prix. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
There's your winner, George Russell. He has won the Canadian Grand Prix, and he's comfortably ahead of both. Well, he was comfortably ahead of both Ferraris, thankfully, at the end of the day. But from our side of the race, P4 is a tremendous result. That probably the best result that we could achieve in this car. George Russell, fair play to him, and again, fair play to Lewis for giving us just enough space as much as we can. A good recovery from us and a good race from our side, but we're gonna have to push forward now into Austria race week. But again, Liam Lawson, not really his fault today. Just a DNF again, not really his fault, but again, maybe just a little bit because, you know, I mean, yeah, just it probably was his fault, just maybe a little bit because of what happened out there. But very much decent result for the team. And looking at the rest of the grid, both Red Bulls, not so good a recovery from those two guys. Sergio actually finishing in a max. Fernando, P11. So we'll take a look at the standings. I actually moved up into P8 now, ahead of Lando Norris in the standings on 39 points, and we now 6 places in the constructors. Comfortably ahead now of Alpine. Very much good from us, and now we chase after McLaren and Aston Martin. McLaren and Aston Martin are probably going to be the fight for the remainder of the season, but again, it just mainly depends on our upgrades, because again, we are saving money though for contract negotiations, because that is coming up around the British Grand Prix time, and we gotta decide though, because Liam's got 2 races to prove that he can do it, and again, I'm counting on Silverstone for him to improve. But again, I think I might give Austria, like, I don't know. I'm just haven't been really happy with Liam, and I think we need to change that teammate. I think we need to change. I don't know. Liam hasn't been that good, and there's a couple of drivers that are on my list. We got a couple names, but we'll save that when we go into contract negotiations. But yeah, so that's all I got in today's video. Again, apologies for my crap of a commentary today. It's been a while since I done commentary, because again, I've been busy doing other stuff, so please bear with me. And again, sorry for not getting uploads out as much as I could. I tried, but again, just caught up with just a lot of stuff. So yeah, so apologies on that. But anyways, that's all I got in today's video, y'all. Thank y'all for watching this video. If you want to see more videos, please like and subscribe. That'll be greatly appreciated. I love you all. And if you want to go check out more of my videos, please go check my channel out as much as you can. But have a good rest of your day, y'all. Be safe out there. I love you all, and I'll see y'all for the next one.